So I need to weigh in on this whole Chorus thing. Chorus is a program that is being presented by some people as a way to help independent people in the social media space occupying somewhere on the left. I say somewhere on the left because I don't really align with these people because they're largely to my right. Here's my contention. So in spirit, I like the idea of building up the voices of people that are countering right-wing messages. That would be a good thing. However, I don't agree that this is the same thing as what like Gavin Newsom in California is doing the redistricting to counter what the Republicans are doing in Texas by gerrymandering and redistricting in a way that's illegal, like mid-census cycle. It's not the same thing. Here's why it's not the same thing. In this case, my problem is the ethics of this particular thing with Chorus. And if you want to get some more details, like a bunch of creators have made videos about it, but check out Wired Magazine's article on this, written by Taylor Lorenz. And again, she catches a lot of heat from a lot of people, especially on the right, but sometimes on the so-called left. And again, I say so-called because most of the people that will complain about her take issue when she is highlighting issues that are probably pretty valid. Like she's a journalist. She's an actual journalist. And like Wired Magazine has editors. There have been creators that conceivably are part of the creation, the Chorus thing, that have spoken against her, trying to make claims that she's misrepresenting what the project is. Like Bryan Tyler Cohen did a video, Hawk Podcast put his response in full. And I heard him make a whole bunch of claims after getting an understanding of what Chorus is, what that program is. Like, do they do training and stuff? Yeah, like they teach you, how to make thumbnails. There's like some networking thing, but there's also a lot of stipulations in that I find problematic. He claimed that they can talk about Chorus if they want to. They can do whatever the hell it is that they want, but if they violate the contract and if the dark money group decides that they don't like what they're saying, they can go after them for that. They can sit there and go, well, okay, like we're going to take our money back after you helped promote the Democratic Party line, which is like, I don't know, to be honest. I would be hard pressed to answer what it is that the Democratic establishment is actually interested in doing for people. And again, Bryan Tyler Cohen criticized that too, and he claims that people can criticize the Democratic Party. That may be the case in some ways, but I'm guessing if you go too far or you talk about certain subjects, in the contract it says there are actions that they can take, like, they can request for edits or take the video down or restrict it or whatever. And we're still kind of waiting. Like, Taylor Lorenz had access to the contracts when she did the articles. Hawk Podcast, I saw his follow-up video that, like, this is a check with the lawyers for Chorus, and they didn't ask for any retractions. They made some additions, but there's no substantive changes there. So where do I come down on this? I like the idea of helping people on the left get a more even presence, or more preferably as the right wing. But I insist that we do it in an ethical way. Like, if you're getting paid, like the first part that bothers me is that they have like a non-disclosure agreement. Like, you're not allowed to say that you're in Chorus. Creators will sit there and say that, they've mentioned that they have talked about it casually or whatever, and Chorus doesn't have a problem with that. And in legal terms, I think you're silly if you think that that is always going to remain true. I'll just say it that way, because the second you run afoul with anything that they don't like that is in their terms of the agreement, you're going to have problems. And they paid these people. So, like, you're getting money. You're getting material support. You should disclose that. So having a non-disclosure, for me, Like saying that you're not supposed to say that you're part of the program, and they can cut you off at that point. I would look at the penalty section if I were you, because like there may be something in there where they're like, they want damages or they want money back or whatever the hell. Like people are getting paid up to like $8,000 a month. Like that's not nothing. That's like almost $100K a year. You're telling me that you're going to get paid by somebody, and you're not going to stipulate that you're getting paid. You're not going to stipulate that there are some restrictions on what you're allowed to say, and that like other people have like final say on the kind of content that you're putting out. I think that's wrong. I think that's blatantly unethical. So should we have something that is building up the left? Yes. Should people make statements about if they were getting material support by somebody? Yes. It's not that difficult. And, you should demand a fair contract. Like if we're serious about where we're coming from as people on the left, we got to be consistent, like ethically consistent. There are certain situations like the redistricting thing that we're stuck within the system that we're stuck in. We're stuck with the cards that we're being dealt. And I understand if people want to make the argument that like it's the same thing with the chorus thing. I don't think they're the same, because I don't think you're going to be, the biggest thing is the non-disclosure thing. Like, I don't think you'd be taking away from anything by having like a fair contract. And I wish that the creators would get together, and if other like artists or what have you want to help out with the project, like you could raise money to promote voices on the left. It's harder for the left because like can they get dark money? Apparently, but we heard about this before. I don't know if it was the same group, but a while back, like people on the left were saying that some dark money people were reaching out to them, and they were basically trying to get them to like pull like a Jimmy Dore or Dave Rubin and others, where it's like that. I don't know if Anna Kasparian took them up on it. She's kind of suspect to me, but they were trying to do that like left to right shift, like the why I left the left nonsense, which is a grift. It's a grift, because like every time I hear people go, why I left the left, or like I didn't leave the left left me, it's completely nonsense. It's a complete fabrication. Like they're gonna sit there and say that like the left has gone crazy or something. No, they haven't. There's a lot of bad actors that are like liberals and neoliberals, centrist moderate types. That whole group is kind of the same in my view, and they do damage. Like they'll take issue, they'll make an issue out of stuff that it should be a really short conversation anytime it's discussed. And I think they do it to actually hurt the left and helps the right. And they're trying to pretend that they're like the reasonable ones. I don't think it's reasonable to hurt progress. I don't think it's reasonable to hurt marginalized groups. I don't think it's reasonable to take the right wing seriously when it's very clear that they're being disingenuous. So I don't know. I can't freaking stand the crap that Bryan Tyler Cohen tried to say. Like, I think he needs to have a sit down with Taylor Lorenz and maybe some other people that are more to the left of him that have serious critiques. And if they want to build out a project together, like, I don't know, maybe they work with Hassan Piker or some others that have a pretty big presence. Like, it's interesting that it seems like people that are further to the left of these folks weren't hit up. Go figure. Because people further to the left have a lot of issues with the Democratic Party. We have a lot of criticisms for them, and there's a lot of critiques that they don't want to answer for. They don't want to have hard conversations. And then everything with Gaza, like the Democratic Party has been completely awful on Gaza. Like, if you fail on human rights, I don't know what to do with you, to be honest. Like, I feel politically homeless. Like, there's no way I could go to the Republican Party. That's a non-starter. If I thought that, and I kind of do think this, that the Democratic Party could possibly be reformed, sure, but like, I feel like it's going to be a very long road, and I don't feel like we have that much time. And those are our two options because of the way our system works. And like, people will sit there and disagree with me and go, oh, we'll do a third party. You do not understand how the system works. Third parties are really shut out of the process. If anything, they they weaken the most possible chance of having more success in the Democratic Party. And I don't know what the answer is, to be honest with you, because rich people, unless they're actually principled and they believe in the idea that maybe there shouldn't be billionaires. Like, I'll say this. There are some billionaires and multimillionaires that agree. They say they agree publicly. I don't know if this is image laundering or if it's sincere. They say that they want to raise taxes, that it's patriotic to pay taxes. And some of them have signed like a giving pledge. So why aren't they helping people on the leftists that actually want to do those things? Why aren't you helping them raise their platform, raise their voice? And like, why aren't you funding them with no stipulations, no strings attached? Like, they could just say, hey, they're saying that these things are things they're interested in, and they're actually trying to raise this message. And they might criticize me and some of my actions, and that's fine. I probably have earned it. But I don't see that happening, and if it's happening, maybe I'm just not aware of it. But I don't like it when people make claims that just seem to be performative, it's image laundering, it's, what have you. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Chorus. I wish there was a version of Chorus for the left that is actually ethical and doesn't involve any sort of non-disclosure agreement. Like they can just offer a service to people, like, here's how you, like, have it be like an academy kind of a thing that maybe is like a free offer. And I understand, like, I like the concept that they're, like, I'll say what I like about it. I think it's a good thing to, pay creators a living wage, or maybe even above a living wage, depending on where they are, so they can make content full time. I have no issue with that. I think that's a good thing, because, like, I make videos. You guys watch my videos, but I'm doing this in my spare time. And I'll tell you, like, you see my videos, they're pretty raw for the most part. There's not that many edits involved. Like, I know some people will, like, get mad at me over this, or say I'm going to get myself in trouble or something by using CapCut, but I don't use CapCut in ways that the new terms should affect me very much. Like, I don't think capitalists are going to be interested in taking what I make and using it for their purposes, because I don't think that works. I don't serve their interests, so I think I'm good. So I use CapCut, like, I'll speed up the speed of my my video a little bit to like 1.2 or 1.3 or whatever, just to make it easier for people to get through stuff, because I'll have pauses, and it like cuts out some of the pauses, cuts out some of the like that, the filler words, like, and things like that I do a lot. And then I like add captions, but that takes time. And then I also add like my little like tags and stuff at the end, and then I have to like write up a description and make a cover sometimes with the Canva app. And like, that whole process might take me, I don't know, between 45 minutes to an hour sometimes, depending, for just one video. And then like the posting process on the different places that I post my stuff, that takes time too. So, and other people make more videos that have they involve more, like there's more edits to it, there's more media that they use. And I've made some videos that include more media, and it is a more time consuming process. So, and also, like, if you're doing things like interviews and all that stuff, that's pretty involved, and that can be like a full-time job pretty easily. So it would be hard for people to do that in addition to whatever else they're doing for an income. So I think that's a good thing. But I don't like the non-disclosure thing, that you can't say that you're working with them. And I don't like the stipulation that basically, like, it has to kind of toe the party line. And I don't think that's a winning message. Like, I think, like, Taylor Lentz has done some other coverage that's related to this, that basically the Democratic Party thinks that there's nothing wrong with their message. It's just who it's delivered by. And I think that's wrong. Like, I think that's a losing strategy, and they need to have bigger conversations about the things that are wrong with their platform, because like the status quo is not cutting it, and they seem to be just interested in maintaining the status quo. And I'm not super comfortable with that. If it came down to it and I had the choice between voting for a Democrat and voting for a Republican, I'd vote for a Democrat, but I do so begrudgingly, knowing that like this is barely harm reduction at this point. I think the Democratic Party needs a new direction, and I think they need to go back to like they were in the FDR days, when we did a lot more like radical reforms that helped regular people. And like, people shouldn't be scared about, the last time you should be scared about the idea of doing things that are radical are when things are so out of whack right now. Like the current situation is so far removed from anything that we should accept. So radical would be a good thing. Radical change would be a very good thing. It might seem scary to some people, but you should not be scared of positive change. And there's going to be bumps in the road, but we have to, because we cannot continue like this. We can't have like 1 in 4 people in poverty. Like, that's a high number. You can't. All right, take care, guys. I gotta go.